And we're back with another father-son podcast with your host, Jeff, Captain Caveman Dens. And also here with me is my stupendous, my wonderful, my one-of-a-kind, my unearthly son, Forrest Dens. How you doing today, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. I thought today we were going to do a review show, and then I figured, Mom's not coming back till tomorrow. We can squeeze in one more regular show. And I got a great topic. It's one that we always talk about, and I'm really interested to have everyone in the country, the world, the earth hear your opinions on chivalry. What do you think about...
Wait, wasn't it more about dating?
Yeah, dating. About how men and women get along in today's society.
Okay.
How do you think a man should treat a woman? And let's start right there, I guess. How do you think a man should treat a woman?
In just a normal situation?
Yeah, well, maybe if you like them, or maybe just in real life. Should you hold the door open for a woman?
All right. So if it's just normal, you should be kind. I'm reading this book called Paladin's Prophecy, and the main character's dad has a bunch of rules, and one of them is if you see a beautiful girl, treat her like a normal person. Even if you don't like them, you should still treat them like a normal person. And if you think that they're like, even if they're maybe mentally or physically challenged, you should still be kind and courteous to them like you would treat any other female.
What if they're ugly?
That's what I was trying to say without saying that, by saying mentally or physically challenged.
So you think ugly girls are mentally challenged?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just teasing.
They're technically physically challenged, you could say, since they don't have...
Because they're not comely?
What?
They're not pretty. Physically challenged. I like that, I guess. That works.
It's the politically correct way to say...
I don't think that's politically correct, dude. I think if Miss K heard that, she'd give you the slap.
Miss who?
Miss Kate. Miss Kate kind of believes in that feminist. Mom might just laugh, but if she didn't know you, she might shake the bejeebuses out of you.
Okay.
So what do you mean? What else should you do for him? Should you hold the door for him? Should you talk to him?
You should just be kind and courteous and treat them as you would treat any other person. Well, treat them as you would treat any other person that you don't know, like friends or best friends or boyfriend and girlfriend. You should treat them like normal people.
If they look pretty, should you tell them they look pretty?
You can. That's your choice if you want to compliment them or not. But, I mean, to be honest, if you just want to go and be even kinder and even more courteous, you should compliment anybody. You should compliment anybody about anything. Any gender.
Like I do?
Yeah, pretty much. Or pay for their, like, snacks.
Or whatever else they need?
Yeah.
Do you think you should open the door for them?
Yeah, hold the door, open the door.
What about for the car? If you're taking them on a trip, should you hold the door open for a car?
Yeah.
Should you help them cross the road?
I don't think anymore that's right, because helping them, you should walk with them across the street.
Some women would say, but
if they're just
what are you saying? I'm not woman enough to walk across the street?
Alright. That's a little outdated, since these days people are all germaphobe and don't touch me, don't respect each other's personal space and all that soft stuff. So I think that one's a little outdated. But, yeah, because if you're crossing the street and it's just somebody, like, passerby, I mean, you're not gonna, like, yeah, it's just outdated. That's outdated. But you should still treat them with respect. Like, you shouldn't push them in front of a car. And if a car is coming, you should... If a car is coming and you're a normal person, you should tell them or warn them or jump and push them out of the way and get yourself out of the way if a car is coming and is about to hit them. But, I mean, that's just being moral.
All right. So we kind of got into what you should do with a regular girl. What about a girl that you like? What's okay?
What's okay to do? Okay?
If you like her, is it okay to tell her she's pretty?
Yeah.
Does she have pretty eyes?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, it's okay to say you have pretty eyes.
Yeah.
Your smile is beautiful.
And these are just all compliments, so yeah.
But can you say beautiful? Is that sexist?
You can call a dude beautiful.
I call a lot of dudes beautiful.
If you want to. It's not gender specific.
Can you say like, oh, you got a nice butt?
That's kind of... No.
No, that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Can you say you have nice hands?
It's a little weird, but I guess.
What about you have nice feet?
Also, very little weird.
There's a lot of weird people that like feet. I don't understand that. Like, if you look at my feet, you'll never want to look at feet again. But I think that one's weird. What about, do you smell nice?
I don't know. That's... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Is it okay to look at a girl's body parts? Like their breasts?
As long as you're... I don't know. Probably not really. Especially not if you're staring. That's just weird.
Yeah. Well, it's not weird. It's lustful. And I don't know. What if they're really cut really low? What if the shirt's cut really low and their boobs are almost hanging out and there's writing on the boobs? Is it okay to look then?
No. It's not okay for them to do that or wear that.
But they do.
Show that.
People do.
Okay. That's their fault. If you're in that situation, you should tell them to cover up if it's in public.
Right.
And you don't know that person. And they're just passerby. And it's in public, like on the street and stuff, and it's not in a club. Or they just didn't walk out of a club or walk out of a bar, and you're in like an office or something, you should tell them to cover up. Or not tell them, you should ask them if they could cover up.
Same guys do the same thing. They have tattoos that say stuff, and they put it on their chest, like underneath the shirt, where you can read a little bit, but you look.
But that is different.
Do you think it's wrong to look at someone if they have a tattoo and it's exposed in their skin?
No, it's their fault. If you write words, if you put words on yourself, this is my view. If you have a tattoo and it's words on yourself, you shouldn't get mad at people who are looking because you put it
trying
there.
to read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. And what about T-shirts? Is it okay? Because some girls wear T-shirts with writing really small right about where, their cutoffs are. But they do. And then some girls get offended if you're staring because if they don't like you, then it's offensive because you're leering at them. And if you were looking at it...
You're reading the shirt.
Yeah, see? There's all this stuff that's going on in the world today. It's really tough to date. What about if you ask a girl out on a date and she says no, is that okay?
Yeah, but you shouldn't keep pursuing it.
Right.
I think that's wrong. If
you kiss her and she didn't want to be kissed?
Depends on if it's after or if it's before. If they were okay with it then, and you kiss them, and then after they say that they didn't actually want that, and they weren't.
What if you thought they did?
This is important.
Okay.
If they let you, and they're not impaired by drugs or alcohol, then later they say that they didn't want to, they're just crazy. They're just a crazy feminist, and you should get as far away as possible from them.
What if you kiss her, just like a real quick kiss, and she didn't want to be kissed, but you thought she did? Is that okay? Or is that a crime? Is that a real
That's not
problem?
a crime. I don't know. That's tough. It's really tough because if that's just a mistake, then it's a mistake.
Mom has a bunch of rules for you about going out with girls, because we do talk about this all. I'm really grilling you. I'm trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I got Forrest blushing. He looks really embarrassed right now because I put him on the spot. But what are some of the rules that Mom has talked to you about dating girls? About what's okay and what's not okay. How to be careful in
I don't know.
today's
She
society.
hasn't really given me a set.
What do you guys talk about a little bit?
I don't really. Yeah, I don't remember.
About how it's dangerous to date in today's world.
It is really like she shows me all these videos of these like really old ladies like doing makeup, putting wigs on, doing everything so nice, and with the way that girls can shadow their face now, it's dangerous for anybody. Like they're not who you think they are, because they can put on a fake personality, and now they can put on a fake face. There are dudes who use the filters in Asia there are these filters on the kind of Snapchats and Instagrams of Asia. There are these filters that literally dudes put on a wig and use, and then they can look like a girl.
Yeah, catfishing.
So it's not okay. Online dating is kind of weird, in my personal opinion. I don't think it's really safe to online date, but it's not. That's your choice. It's not my choice. But I don't think there should be laws against it. I personally don't think it's safe to date online.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and people are getting in trouble for things that were normally considered in the past to be normal courting. And I think that's kind of a problem. And in this politically correct society, it's getting tougher and tougher to date.
And the way
there's two things. There's like people that are really crazy, and they're doing things that are like really immoral, and it's okay with everybody. And then there's the other end of the spectrum where like the very normal dating stuff is not okay, right? And the whole world is like teetering and tottering, going one way and back and forth. And the Me Too thing is getting a little bit out of control, I think.
In today's world, when you meet a girl, there are questions. When you meet a girl online, there are questions that you need to ask. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable they make you. For your own safety, there are certain questions that you have to ask. Like, are you wearing makeup in this picture? Are you using a filter? Because you want to be safe from catfishers. That's another reason why it's not so good to date online. Because if it actually is a girl, and that actually is the way she looks, it makes them really uncomfortable and angry because you don't think that you think that they're fake, but it's really the only way to be completely safe from catfishers, and even then they can still get you sometimes. So that's not right. And then now in today's society, it's probably safer to date for at least a year or two before you really commit to a girl, and if you're a dude, and sometimes if you're a girl, you have to date a dude for a year to really make sure that he's not crazy or a creep or like a
I'm going to tell you what I think about chivalry. And some of the feminists don't like chivalry because it says that you're saying that they're not willing or good enough, that women are not good enough and they need to be taken care of by men. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that still, even today in our society, we still need to have some sort of gender roles. It doesn't have to be the man does everything or the woman does all the cleaning and cooking and everything. But when you're courting, you should still be able to do certain things, right? A man should be able to tell a woman that she looks good as long as it's not offensive. And this is where you need to draw some lines. You can't be like, oh, man, your tits look great, right? Or I want to bang you, right? But you can say, you look beautiful today.
Yeah.
Or did you do something different with your hair? You look great, right? That's not, to me, that's just normal day-to-day things. And especially when people look good, you shouldn't be afraid to say that, man, that sweater looks great on you. And I do that all the time, actually.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let's say that you're the same gender, that it's two same gender people, and you say nice haircut or something, if you're a dude, or nice haircut, or nice sweater, nice shirt or something. In my opinion, it's just like, why isn't that okay if it's a man and a woman? That doesn't seem okay.
Because of the intent behind it sometimes. Because, like, when you say something to someone, sometimes you're trying to get in their pants. It's a crazy world, man. Men and women too, but mostly men are biological beings, and they do some horrible things to women, and that's not okay, right? And it's never okay for a woman to feel harassed or not safe at work. But
the thing is, when you look at some of the things that they're saying that's harassing them, there's no way in the world that that's harassment.
Right. I agree with what you're saying, and I agree with what Mom says, and I agree with all that, right? And the problem is that bad things happen for a very long time in society. So now people are overcompensating for it, right? And eventually it'll swing back. But it's a crazy time. Like, some of the people are doing it willingly as well. Like when you talk about the movie stars that were sleeping with the director to get the roles. They knew what they were doing, and they agreed to do it, but now they're mad about it later, right? That's selling yourself, and that's a little bit different, to my opinion, than like what happens in a workplace environment where if you don't sleep with me, you're fired, right? That's different, and that's not okay. And even having them do things that are different because they're a woman is not okay. I don't personally think, right? But I think that you should always be respectful towards women, whether they like it or not. You should always hold the door for them. If they're sad, you should always say, "Oh, are you okay?" There's a bunch of things that you should always do as a man, and we talk about a lot of them all the time, right? Always be a good person, no matter what. If people don't like it and they get upset about you, that's okay. I personally believe.
I have a really good definition of chivalry that can also define a good way to treat a relationship with certain words. And it says chivalry is the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight. That is the. Let me restart. The definition that I found for chivalry can apply to just chivalry or relationships. And it says that chivalry is the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, which obviously doesn't apply to people, but basically applies to an ideal gentleman. Especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. That can be applied to being chivalrous by honoring women's rights and honoring that they are, kind of, and being courteous to them, and I don't know about the justice, and then helping them if they're hurt or something and they're in the middle of the street. It can also apply to a good relationship where you're courageous for each other and you have honor for each other. You're courteous to each other because you should just do that for anybody. You bring justice to each other even if it's ugly, and then you're both ready to help each other if you're down.
Nice. So you described a pretty good marriage. What I would say to you as a father is I would like you to treat every girl, whether you like them or you don't like them, like you treat Destiny, right? Always look out for them, take care of them. When they're hurt, try and do your best.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the way I was raised and brought up. And my grandpa was really pretty stern about making sure you always take care of ladies no matter what. And that it's just part of your job as a man. And that's different in today's society. That's a little bit of an outdated belief. And I realize that. But it's hard for me to let go of that. So
it's something that everybody should do.
When you see me at work, I always help the girls load the trucks and unload the trucks, because even when Heather was pregnant, they had to load in the truck. I wouldn't let Heather lift anything when she was pregnant. Just a lot of stuff. And it just is what it is. Like, you should always go out of your way to help people. And I believe that 100%. You see me all the time. I help people at the store. I help people wherever they're at. Even the homeless guys sometimes. Sometimes I just sit down and talk with them because they're just trying to get your money. But I sat down and talked to a homeless guy at McDonald's for like 20 minutes the other day, and 30 minutes the other day. And I ended up, I was touched by a story. I bought him some food, and I ended up talking to him for another 10 minutes. And I went and go train at Boomer.
It's really cool that you can do that.
Yeah. But everyone should do that.
Yeah. I know Mom donates to some homeless people, but I think that a mix of what both of you do is good for normal life. Because you go out of your way to help anybody and everybody, which sometimes isn't safe. Obviously.
Gets me in trouble a lot at home too, right?
Yeah.
How many times I got in trouble for helping someone because maybe it's not the right person at the right time to help, or it goes a little bit outside the boundaries of what I should be acceptably doing in the marriage, right?
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it's not safe for your money. You're just giving your money to somebody who's not actually homeless.
And when I give money away, I'm giving away money for you and money for Mom, and it's all of our money together, right? Because my money doesn't belong to me; it belongs to all of us.
Yeah.
And I realize that, and I know it's upsetting to Mom sometimes, but
yeah. But
I'd rather do that instead of buying myself something. I buy stuff for other people. Like I bought Andrew's lunch today, Mr. Andrews. I'm gonna probably buy him dinner too if he ever gets out of doing whatever he's doing. Mm-hmm. It's just I like to take care of my friends, and I don't have a lot of them, so it's easy to do.
Mom is spectacle of a lot of the homeless people. she makes sure that her money is going to that 99% of the time her money is going to somebody that's actually homeless. So sometimes she just ignores some of the homeless people.
Well, a lot of those homeless people are scams on the side of the road. They are scams.
I know.
And the other thing about Mom that maybe you don't know is she donates a lot of money to help out people that are doing missionary work, going to other countries and doing stuff. Mom is a very generous person with her money as well.
Yeah, but like...
We just... our definition of generous is just a little bit different, you know?
Yeah. And I think when you mesh that together and you're a little less skeptical than Mom is of some of the homeless people, but you're not as generous as you are, and you put that together, there's less chance that your money is going to an actual homeless person, but there's a good chance that you're being as generous as you could be without giving money to every scam that you see.
I think it's really easy to break it down, and like when we're talking about generosity and giving, even though we got off of chivalry, but that's okay.
Giving is part of chivalry because it's kind of about the readiness to help the weak. Yeah,
but I believe in helping people one person at a time. I believe that deep in my heart. I don't think you can change the world en masse. I think one person needs to change one person at a time. It's a slow process and it hurts. Some days, like one thing that you can do for one person can change their life, right? You help the right person on the right day. Maybe they're about to do something terrible and they don't do it. And recent events have really hit that home to me. And I'm really, really going on my way to help everyone that I can in the next little bit. We can't really talk about what happened, but you know exactly what happened. We want to talk about, right? Anyways, I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yeah.
So, when I see people down, I'm going to try and help them even more than I was before. Mom, I don't know, because we never really sat down and talked about it, but just from what I gather from her and the way she acts, she believes in churches and big organizations doing great work for a lot of people. And me personally, I don't trust people that much. I always think organizations somehow get corrupt. And I don't think the money can go exactly where it needs to go. But Mom really believes in that. Mom really believes in churches and getting together and feeding a whole bunch of people at once, too. And going over to other countries and doing work and whatever they do. So we both like to help people. And we both believe in giving and helping other people. We just go about it in a little bit different ways. And I think you have a good example from both of us on what's right to do. I think the way we interact with people is a lot different too. Mom's really closed and I'm really open, right? So I think you get the best of both worlds from the two of us. And I'm really proud that you get that. And that'll always be because we're very different people.
That makes a lot more sense when I think about it now. Because I don't think Mom is a bad person, and I didn't think before that she wasn't generous. But now I really know how she's generous and that she's pretty much equally as generous as you, just in a different way.
Oh, for sure. She's probably more generous than I am, to be honest with you. And she'll donate stuff all the time. She's trying to donate some blanket that she knits. She does a lot of good. Like, she'll go way out of her way for her friends, right? Like, way out of her ways to help anybody that she knows. Me too. But then I help, some guy at Rite Aid sometimes. Or some guy at Delaware Park. It's just, I can't help it. I want to make everyone better. It's probably actually a flaw. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for today. This is a long
really
one.
Good, yeah, it's a really good one too.
Yeah. I love you, man.
Love you too.
Always do good in this world. Make it a better place. You're a very strong person that you can change lives, man. One life at a time. I believe that. And if you want to get in a big organization and take care of hundreds of people at a time, that's fine too. They're both good things, but always do good things for people. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I love you, man.
Love you too.